information, please contact epsretirement@gmail.com or call 213-399-2103. That's epsretirement@gmail.com or call 213-399-2103. To Pastor Epps and First Lady Epps, congratulations from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is Truth Time, and I am not Nina Turner. I am Tavis Smiley, but I have the honor today of guest hosting this program because today is a very, very special day. And I think I want to start the program out with, that's a great theme song. I love that theme song. But let's start with another track. Miles, give it to me.
Just how much we love you, and I'm sure you would agree. What could fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
It just so happens that today is the 72nd natal day of one Cornell West. And I am honored to wish him a happy birthday. I got a special guest I'm going to bring on a little later in this conversation who will also wish him happy birthday. But as you know, this program commences every day with Nina asking Doc to share what's on his heart, what's on his mind. And I want to stay in that vein. Doc, happy birthday for starters. And how are you processing? What's on your heart? What's on your mind on your 72nd birthday, brother?
Brother, I just said thank God for Jesus. I say thank God. Thank God for Irene B. West. Thank God for Clifton West. Thank God for Clifton and Cynthia and Cheryl and Zaytune and, of course, Cliff West, who was my son named after my mother and father and grandmother. And, of course, I thank God for my beloved Anahita. That was the first music I heard this morning, brother. I got up, Anahita had Stevie Wonder rocking, and the cake was already ready, man, in the morning. I said, babe. But I thank God for Nirvana, too.
Yeah.
I thank God for Nirvana, our beloved daughter. But, no, brother, I just got gratitude shot through my soul, soaked through my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to have a brother like you, brother, I'm telling you, a brother like you, part of the family, the third son of Irene B. West and Mark Ridley Thomas. I can go on and on. I'm blessed as I can be, man.
Yeah. I've said many times, and I've said it and he has said it as well in various places, because I'm the eldest in my family, and Dr. West, of course, has an older brother named Cliff. We call him Big Cliff, his older brother. But I'm the eldest in my family of my siblings. And so when Dr. West and I got together all those years ago, it's become true that I am the younger brother that he never had, and he has become the older brother that I never had. And so we've been long distance runners through radio shows and symposia and books and appearances, literally all around the world. I've said to some of my friends before, and I don't mean to get anybody in any trouble, but one of the most joyful days of my life. Was being with Dr. West. We were at a conference in Berlin. And so we woke up in the morning in Berlin and had breakfast there before we took off. We literally had lunch on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and we had dinner that night on the beach in Casablanca. That was all in one day. breakfast in Berlin, lunch in Paris, and dinner in Casablanca. And so I've had so many great experiences with Dr. West over the years, and so it's my great honor to spend this hour sort of celebrating him. I've done a few things that I think he'll appreciate. I think he will. I've got some tracks that we're going to play in and out of these segments of different pieces that I think will remind him of the journey that he's been on these 72 years, and I'll play these pieces and let Doc explain why I'm playing them. Once he hears them, he'll know why I'm playing them. So we're going to play some fascinating pieces of content as we move through this hour, and I'm not doing this alone today. So before we go forward, let me bring somebody else on to wish Dr. West a happy birthday, and we're going to do this all together as brothers in this hour. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, yes, brother.
There he is. There he is. This is the aforementioned Cliff West, Big Cliff, as we call him. Cliff, it's your brother's birthday. I'll let you say what you want to say in your own words, and I'll jump from there.
Brother. You know, some 72 years ago, I knew it was going to be a special charge that the Lord put on me to be your big brother all this time, but I never figured for this kind of thing, you know, for all these 72 years. I just thank God for you. You have always been that one to stand out, that special one to love. I'm your older brother, but in many ways I grew up in your shadow. The shadow of your greatness has started very early. And I am thankful to God for that. That's one of the things mostly I'm thankful to God for, because it has humbled me and it has taught me how to be a loving leader to such a loving person as you. And I love you to life, and ain't nothing nobody can do about it. For starters. That's just for starters.
That's just for starters. We got a whole hour. Yeah, Cliff's just warming up. We got a whole hour of loving on Cornel West on his 72nd birthday. There's a great hour in front of us with some treats that we'll share with you. Cliff mentioned earlier that Doc's greatness started shining early in his life. We're going to go way back to the beginning because I know the story, right? I know the story. And if you read the book Brother West, you know the story. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning. With Lil Ronnie. We're going to start there. We're going to work our way through this hour as we celebrate the 72nd birthday of Cornel West.
We know the key to unity of all people is in the dream that you had so long ago that lives in all of the hearts of people.
Speaking truth to power and to the powerless. This is Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say.
Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
Love you.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. 556. You don't have to speak. No. 556. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-237-8585. That's 800-237-8585. Again, that's 800-237-8585.
To thine own self be true. More of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner coming your way right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
Outstanding. Girl, you knock me up. Exciting. You make me wanna shout. Girl, you looking sweet tonight. You find it every day, girl. Wish that I could love you right in a special way, girl. You light my fire. I feel alive with you. You blow my mind. I'm satisfied.
So I'm playing this track from the Gap Band. Let it ride, Miles. I'm playing this track from the Gap Band as we celebrate the 72nd natal day of Cornel West for a number of reasons. One, because Cornel West is outstanding, has been for 72 years. I'm playing it secondly because you all saw the news that Tulsa has proposed a $100 million reparations plan for descendants of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. And by the way, the mayor of Tulsa, this announcement just made, the mayor of Tulsa is on my program, Tavis Smiley, tomorrow. So tomorrow, tune in for a conversation with the mayor of Tulsa, Monroe Nichols IV, will be our guest, one of our guests on our program tomorrow. This is the second reason why I'm playing this song. But the main reason I'm playing it, because we all know and love the Gap Band. We know what that Gap stands for, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But Tulsa is also the birthplace of one Cornel West, Tulsa, Oklahoma. When you hear the Gap Band on any given day, Dr. West, and you think about Tulsa as the place of your birth, you think what, sir?
I think of the genius of the Wilson family, brother. I think of Reverend Oscar Wilson, the Church of God in Christ, with his magnificent wife who produced the Wilson brothers, and Uncle Charlie, born in the same hospital that I was born, same year, 1953. He was born January 29. I was born June 2nd, Irene B. West in Clifton. So we got so much in common. And when I saw my brother, I got down on my knees and I said, thank you for enriching my life with me and Cliff and Cynthia and Cheryl and Glenn Elder on the chocolate side of Sacramento, taking in all of that soulful music. And you put on Yearning and you just got to be silent, you know. Lord.
So Miles, Miles, it's his birthday. Give me some Yearning. While Miles pulls up some Yearning for me, it's Doc's birthday. We're gonna celebrate the way he wants to celebrate it. But I bet you did not know that Charlie Wilson and Cornel West were born in the same hospital in the same year in Tulsa. You're gonna learn something about Cornel West in this house. We celebrate his birthday. Give me some Yearning, Miles. There you have a little yearning for Dr. West as we celebrate his birthday today.
That's pure genius, brother.
Yes, it is.
Unadulterated genius, my brother. That's what that is, man.
Yeah. We're going to celebrate the things that make Cornel West happy, to make him smile on this particular day. So I told you earlier, you're going to learn something about Cornel West in this house. We celebrate his birthday. So you just learned that Cornel West and Uncle Charlie were born in the same hospital in the same year, 6 months apart, basically, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if you didn't know that. That's number one. Number two, you probably didn't know that Cornel West got kicked out of every school in Sacramento as a kid growing up. I'm queuing up the Cliff, Big Cliff in a second here. But Cornel West got kicked out of multiple schools as a child in Sacramento, born in Tulsa, raised in Sacramento, California. But he kept getting kicked out of schools because I've referred to him many times as the Black Robin Hood. He was the Robin Hood of the neighborhood way back then. And Cornel West, you heard Cliff, his brother, say earlier that his greatness started shining all those years ago. And so you ask why Cornel West got kicked out of all these schools as we celebrate his birthday today. Why? Because Cornel West was going to school and looking at the poor kids who had nothing to eat. And Cornel West would go to those who had lunches and divide their lunches up to give something to eat to the kids who had nothing to eat. Cornel West, as a young man, supported the Black Panthers in the breakfast program. You can learn all this if you read his memoir, Brother West. So it's no secret if you've read the book. But as we celebrate his birthday, I want to just walk through these 72 years and give you some sense of the man that you know, but how he became that person. Cliff, talk to me about Cornel West, your younger brother. As a matter of fact, when Cornel West was born, they didn't even call him Cornel. We call him Dr. Cornel West. He was called Little Ronnie. So Cliff, explain why y'all called him Little Ronnie. Talk to me about helping him learn how to read. I got a funny story about that as well. But just talk to me about Cornel West as your baby brother all those years ago.
Man, it's so many stories, so many ways to tell it, too. You know, I think about it, brother. You know, it's the places and the people and things that shape the times of our becoming. And when I think of Cornel, first of all, it was an exciting moment for Cornel finally to go to school, to kindergarten, to go to his class. See, before I'm 3 years older, so Cornel would sneak into my class earlier. And I'd have to take him home, and you know, take him home. Say, Corn, it's not your time, little Ronnie. I never called him Cornell then.
Yeah.
I said, little Ronnie, it's not your time. I'm going to gather up all the information when I go to this kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and I'm gonna bring it home to you, and we'll do the homework together. How about that? We'll do it together. He said, okay, well, hurry home. And so, you know, there was one time that, you know, I went to class and there was a knock on the door down by the bottom of the door, and the teacher opened the door and it was little Ronnie, knocking on the door talking about his bruh here in my first grade class. Second grade class.
Yeah.
And so anyway, when he finally got to kindergarten, there was a knock on the door. I was in third grade then. And then there was another knock on the door from the teacher now of the kindergarten class saying, is there a Clifton in here? And I said, I knew right then. I said, what has he done now? And he said, we have a Cornell in here, but he does not know his name. He will not answer to his name. And so I said, well, let me talk to him. And Cornell says, if Lil Ronnie is good enough for mom and dad and y'all, it's got to be good enough for her. So, okay, come on. I said, brother, you be Cornell for the remainder of this class, and we'll figure it out when we get home. And really, when we got home that day, we changed. We said, from now on, call him by his government name. Call him Cornell from now on. So, because this kid cannot stand things that are out of order or hypocrisy. And when I talk about hypocrisy, that's really why he got kicked out of the next school.
Yeah.
Is because he wouldn't salute the flag. And by the time Cornell was 7 years old, he understood the institutional hypocrisies by which black people were living under.
Yeah.
He said, why should I salute a flag that treats my people like this?
Yeah. He was how old then, Cliff?
He was 7.
Yeah. I should have started this conversation by telling you his full name is Cornell Ronald West. For those fans of his, you know that already. But his middle name is Ronald, and that's why as a kid they called him Little Ronnie until that day, as Cliff just described in that classroom, where all hell broke loose because he would not respond to Cornell. So that's the backstory on that. Doc, let me come to you. Just give me a sense of where all of this came from. How can you be 7 years old and refuse to salute the flag? Where were you getting all this from, Doc?
Well, I had heard that my grand-uncle had come back in military uniform from World War I and was lynched in uniform, so I already knew the depths of the hypocrisy, the criminality, the mendacity that was built into so much of what the flag was about, so much of what America was about. The best people in the world that I knew were born in America. Namely Irene and Cliff, Reverend C.L. West, pastor of Metropolitan Baptist Church, now pastored by Reverend Owens, the biggest black Baptist church still in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but lovely old Gwen and T. Rose and Big Daddy and Uncle Nick and Aunt Payne and Uncle Earl and Aunt Tiny. And so these are the best people I knew in the world. You know what I mean? And I'll never be one half the human being my brother is right now, and both of us aspire to the moral and spiritual greatness of Irene and Clifton West. So that it's Cheryl, probably the loveliest person in terms of just giving kindness in the family. Cynthia got more style than Gladys Knight and Phyllis Hyman, you know. So that so I had a paradox. The best people in the world I know, folk in the family and in Shiloh Baptist Church, Reverend Willie P. Cook and Mrs. Cook and Sarah Ray and Deacon Hinton, and the country, barbaric in his treatment of black people.
You've heard Doc mention the names of his siblings. It's always been fascinating for me. I find it to be more than just cute that they all start with C's. There's Cliff, there's Cornell, there's Cynthia and Cheryl. All start with C's. Okay, you heard Doc mention Shiloh Baptist Church and Reverend Willie P. Cook. All right, Miles, give me a little taste of this, and I'll tell you why we're playing it.
Set out to do. Stand, there's a cross for you to bear, things to go through if you're going anywhere. Ooh, stand for the things the things you want are real. You have you to complete, and there is no deal.
So, Dr. West, on your 72nd birthday, when you hear the voice of Sly and the Family Stone, you mentioned Shiloh Baptist Church. Make the connection for me, sir.
Oh, Lord, me and Cliff, we remember the great Silver Echoes. We remember Joseph Slade, and we remember the genius Sylvester Stewart, known to the world as Sly Stone, as part of the mass choir of Northern California, who would come to Shiloh on fifth Sundays, irregularly, but enough to remember him playing the organ, and we were already able to experience the creative genius of Sly Stone in the context. He's coming from Vallejo. His father was a minister too, with Sister Rose, his sister, brother Freddie, his brother. And of course, he was going to bring Larry Graham from across the bay, who of course is the uncle of Drake. And we won't get into the Kendrick Lamar beat, but Kendrick's a genius and Drake is a talent.
There you go. So we know him as Sly Stone, but Dr. West and Cliff knew him as Sylvester Stewart, playing the organ in their church every fifth Sunday at Shiloh in Sacramento. Reverend Willie P. Cook was the pastor. Y'all gonna learn something about Cornel West today as we celebrate Cornel Ronald West on his 72nd birthday.
The truth will set you free, but first it might raise your blood pressure.
I'm not driving you, man.
More of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is celebrating Illinois' seventh straight balanced budget, a $55 billion plan with new taxes on tobacco, vaping, and sports betting.
Unlike the federal government, we are balancing our budget for the benefit of your families, while Trump spends wildly to benefit his family and their Doge Bro friends.
He says it helps working families more than Trump-era federal cuts. 11 people were stabbed Sunday night at the Union Gospel Mission in Salem, Oregon. Police say the victims were taken to Salem Health with various injuries. A male suspect is in custody, but no motive has been released. And Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial resumes today in New York. His lawyers continue cross-examining a former assistant under the alias Mia, who says Combs raped and abused her. A man by the name of Enrique Santos is expected to testify next. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
A pan comido or a piece of cake, no matter how you say it, you save at cheapoair.com/ES. The deals are fully translated in Spanish, so all you've got to do is scroll and save with deals on up to 500 airlines worldwide. cheapoair.com/ES.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
One of the two teams in the NBA Finals will win their first NBA championship. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers are among 11 teams that have never won an NBA title. They meet up in the best-of-7 series beginning Thursday night. The first two games are in OKC. The other 9 teams that have not won an NBA championship, the Clippers, Minnesota, Utah, Sacramento, Memphis, New Orleans, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Brooklyn. The SWAC Conference football game this season on October 4th between Florida A&M and Mississippi Valley State has been moved from Itta Bena, Mississippi to Atlanta. The HBCU game will be played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, home of the NFL Atlanta Falcons. Mercedes-Benz Stadium has a capacity of 71,000. There are more Florida A&M alumni in Atlanta than any other city in the country. Both teams are now expected to earn more money from the gate revenues after the venue change. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Joe Cornell of Cornell & Cornell. Cornell & Cornell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cornell & Cornell, a partner you can count on.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is where love and truth meet.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
I'm back.
There's no doubt that 9/11 is a turning point, a pivotal moment in the history of this nation, in the history of this empire. Unsafe, unprotected, subject to random violence and hated. Yet we also know that in the midst of the American past and present, there's the black people who have always felt unsafe, unprotected, subject to random violence, and hated. And though we've called for a moratorium on the N-word for analytical purposes, to be a nigger in America is to be unsafe, unprotected, subject to random violence, and hated.
Just a little taste of Cornel West in his own words. He has done any number of projects, any number of spoken word projects with his brother Big Cliff, who joins us in this hour. This is Truth Time, by the way. Truth Time on KBLA Talk 1580. I am Tavis Smiley. I am not Nina Turner. I am here because Nina's off today, and I wanted the honor of being able to host this program in this hour as we celebrate the 72nd campaign. This is the birthday, number 72, for Cornel Ronald West, Dr. West as we know him, and we're honored to be in this hour celebrating him, his life, his legacy, his work, his witness, ongoing. Thank God for Jesus. But we celebrate Cornel West today in this hour. We'll get back to the music in a second. If you know anything about Dr. West, he can handle it on a dance floor. As a matter of fact, he will outdance anybody on a dance floor. So don't let the intellect fool you. At parties at Harvard, he would go to parties with books under his arms, put the books down, dance a little bit, read a little bit, dance a little bit more. But Cliff knows all about these stories because Cliff West, our guest in this hour, is the big brother of Cornel West. And again, just delighted to be in conversation. We'll get back to the music here in just a second. We were talking about Cornel West as a kid, Lil Ronnie, who eventually became Cornell. He owned that first name, grew into it. But he goes on to graduate from John F. Kennedy High School in Sacramento. He was also the student body president, organized protests demanding black studies courses. Of course, his educational path, formed by his dear mother, Irene Bias West, who was the first black educator in Elk Grove Unified School District. And if you go up to Northern California and go anywhere near Elk Grove, right off the freeway, you can look over to the right, well, depending on what direction you're going, but you can look off the freeway and see the Irene B. West Elementary School. She was the first African-American educator in that school district, and they honored her all those years later with a school. I was honored to be there the day that they opened the school, the Irene B. West Elementary School in Northern California. So his mother was an educator, brilliant educator in her own right, and so he gets it from both his parents. But his mother put him on that path, and there is a school that honors her with her name on it, again, in Northern California. Cliff, talk to me about all those parties you went to as a young man, and Cornel was following you as your little brother, wanting to go to all the parties you went to. I'm just trying to get to this love of music that both you and he have.
Yeah, you know, I'm come Judgment Day, some of this stuff I'm gonna have to pay for. I know the blood. I know about the blood.
Yeah, it covers
like that. It covers, but you know, the places that I led Cornel early on in his life, I'm gonna have to pay for it. It's as simple as that. But I remember so many things. First of all, I'm gonna preface it by this: to know Cornel like I know him, Cornel's story is ultimately a love story.
Oh yeah,
it is a story that informs us that true love is not at the expense of where love exists at that time. True love makes room for more love.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been Cornel's story since the day he came home from the hospital, Moton Hospital, on June 2nd in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But fast forward to the party, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give an account of a party that Glenn Elder to this day is laughing about. There was what few of us is left.
Yeah.
There, you know, in junior high school, Corn used to come to these parties and stuff. Actually, it was a house party, come think of it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the more developed sisters, who was my age, she was very developed
yes,
in
sir.
all the right places.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Corn was small for his age. He probably was about 11, 12 years old, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I won't mention the sister's name. She's gone home to glory. But
yeah,
she was probably a good 5'7", 147 in all the right places.
Yeah.
And Cornel asked her to slow down. And as he was, you know, he was a good 4'7", so his head fit perfectly in between.
Yes, we understand.
It's a family
show. We understand, though. Yeah.
And the brothers, you know, my friends was like, Cliff, go get your brother, man. Go get him. I said, man. I said, I'll get him. I'll pick up the pieces. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going out there in that dance floor and snatching him. I'll pick up whatever pieces is left over after she gets through with it. So, so the brother, he had courage too. He had courage, and he was a love warrior even back then. I'll put it like
that. Dr. West, it's your birthday. Anything you want to add to how you developed this love of music, sir?
No, but Cliff was just telling the truth now. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. And it's also true that it is the bona fide genius. And by genius, I mean the geniality of heart, mind, soul, and spirit at work in my older brother that he passed on to me. But it is part of his genius that we had the 3 albums of Sketches of My Culture, as well as Street Knowledge, double album, and then Never Forget with Prince, and with Andre 3000, and Jill Scott, and Raw Digger, and KRS-One, and M1, and it just goes on and on. Brother Lenny, I mean, Cliff put that together with Brother Mike and Brother DOA, and Steve McKeever did the 3rd album there. But that was Cliff's genius and his forcefulness that led toward those productions rooted in the same kind of love he was talking about that we had on the dance floor with the Purple Light, with the Mighty Dells and the Delphonics and the Whispers and the Main Ingredient and Enchantment, and especially the Dramatics. In fact, last night, with my beloved wife, Anahita, and I, we were watching Ernest Giss's DMV senior dance that we watch every night. And right when, at the very moment when our birthday began, they played the Dramatics, Thank You for Your Love, Tony Hester, written and produced. And I said, that's the kind of God I serve.
We thank God for Cornel West. We are celebrating his 72nd birthday right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June the 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we cut the ribbon on the brand new Enel Woods Park at 8703 South McKinley Avenue. Thanks to a generous donation from Heal the Bay, the park features smart irrigation, stormwater capture systems, and space for local wildlife to thrive. And we've built a walking trail, picnic areas, native landscaping, and quiet spaces for families to gather, relax, and connect. This is part of a much larger effort to expand green spaces across South LA with 3 new parks in the works, a first-of-its-kind community center coming soon, and plans to connect it all through the South LA Greenway. So mark your calendar for Saturday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and come celebrate a greener, stronger South LA at Enel Woods Park. I'm also pleased to sponsor the Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium, moderated by Tavis Smiley, live on C-SPAN, Wednesday, June the 18th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Just a reminder to sign up right away at the KBLA1580.com website to join me, Mayor Karen Bass, Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager Dove, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, Dr. Cornel West, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., the Sierra Club's Ben Jealous, and other black influencers in the climate and health fields as we continue to amplify the connection between climate and poor health outcomes for our people. Thank you for listening. I'm Councilman Curran Price.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent. And the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. My privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least liked to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is where love and truth meet.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
I'm back. Thank you, baby. I just wanna take a little time out to thank you, baby. Thank you for your love.
I don't know if this track was playing when Doc was on the dance floor with that purple light at that house party that Cliff told us about earlier. But any excuse to play the dramatics is good enough for me. I love this track. Thank you for your love. I'm glad that Doc mentioned it just a moment ago. Doc, I'm just watching my time is getting away here. I have always said that, to my mind at least, Paul Robeson is the greatest example of a Renaissance man in the history of this country. I didn't say the first black man, the only black man, but as a man, period. In this country. I can't think of a greater Renaissance man than Paul Robeson, and yet every time I think about you, I think about all the different spaces that you've shown up in as a Renaissance man in your own right. We've talked about the music. We could talk about the film. You're starring as Counselor West in The Matrix, any number of other films, all the documentaries that you've been included in and done about you, all the best-selling books you've written, Race Matters, Prophesy and Deliverance, all the texts you've written, all the work you've done in academia, on and on and on goes your imprint over these years. Did you set out to become this sort of Renaissance man, or did the Lord just lead you in these directions?
No, brother, I learned in Vacation Bible School I'm a cracked vessel trying to love my crooked neighbor with my crooked heart. And that if the kingdom of God is within me, then everywhere I go I ought to leave a little heaven behind. And that's true in Harlem. That's true in South, on the south side of Chicago. That's true in Kentucky. And, brother, for you to go all the way to Edinburgh to be with us for the Gifford Lecture, with some of you the Nobel Prize in Philosophy, when we were all there together with Anahita and yourself and Andre Willis and the others, that was just another context of bearing witness as a cracked vessel. Same is true, as you know, working with Arturo O'Farrill, where we won the Grammy, actually, an Afro-American Latin orchestra. Same is true teaching in prisons. Same is true being in the nightclubs, and same is true being in church, my brother. So that one can't conceive of more of a blessed life. And the most blessed of the blessed, it was being born to Irene and Cliff. I can't overemphasize what it meant and what it means to be part of the West household for 72 years, and to continue to be able to stay in my right mind at least 4 days of the week, at least 4.
You mentioned the Black Church. I happen to know that one of Doc's favorites and one of my favorites, and he and I spent time with her together on any number of occasions. So we can't have a conversation without playing some gospel. So give me something to work with, Miles.
Lord. I made it over.
So, Doc, as I hear the Queen of Soul, our dear friend, dearly departed, Aretha Franklin, the Queen, as I listen to her sing this track that I love and you love and Cliff loves, we all love, one of the greatest albums ever made, Amazing Grace, recorded live here, of course, in Los Angeles. Aretha does it as nobody ever could. But when she sings How I Got Over, I think about your journey and your life. And I only say this because you discussed it publicly in your own lectures. But once or twice, we thought we had lost you to cancer. And the Lord put you through both times. So when you hear this song about how I got over, you think what, brother? And the fact that you're still here 72 years later.
Well, I think of the towering figure Clara Ward in her 20s who wrote this because the Klan had surrounded her car and her mother Gertrude had the Holy Spirit hit her and scared the Klan away. When we got to Atlanta in the hotel room, the first thing she did was write this song. So it was grounded in the long tradition of a great black people who have produced a musical tradition, which is the greatest tradition of artistic genius and spiritual fortitude and moral courage in the history of the modern world. And I think to myself how blessed I am to be situated and grounded, immersed in such a tradition. And I just thank God every day that I can keep moving forward.
Yeah. See, that's why he's Cornell around the West, and ain't nobody like him. You play a song, and you ask Doc what he thinks of, and he's going to give you the whole backstory to the song. Who wrote the song, when they wrote the song, where they were when they wrote the song, why they wrote the song. Only Cornel West, that's why I love this Negro. Only Cornel West can give you all that. When you ask a simple question, he goes all the way in. But Cliff, you've been used to this your whole life. Yeah, Doc just espousing not just principles and living by those principles, but we've all been the beneficiary of his vast intellect. I have considered it a signal honor of my life to have sat at his feet as many times as I have, just to learn so much that he has imbibed, that he is always willing to share with the rest of us. He mentioned the Gifford Lectures in Scotland. I mean, that's if you don't know anything about the Gifford Lectures, I want to invite you as we celebrate Dr. West today on his 72nd birthday, just to read about the Gifford Lectures in Scotland and the history for hundreds of years of these lectures, and then consider that just a year or so ago, Cornel West, Dr. West, was the first person of color ever invited to give those lectures in Scotland. It's a series of lectures. It ain't one or two. It's 6 of them. You do 3 lectures one week. You do 3 lectures the next week. There was always standing room only in the room that Doc was speaking in. I didn't make the first week, but I made the second week. I was there for the close, and what a close it was that second week with those 3 lectures. But the Gifford Lectures are all that and then some. And to be invited all these centuries later, these years later, to be the first person of color to give those lectures was a high moment. I wasn't going to miss it, so I got on the plane and flew to Scotland. I wanted to be there when Doc finished up his lecture series, the Gifford Lectures. So read about it. And for that matter, those lectures are available online. You can actually view Dr. West giving all 6 of those lectures. It will surely be a high moment in his life. I'm glad that life is ongoing, but a high moment for him. I've got just a few minutes left here, Cliff. I want to come to you before I give Doc the final word on his birthday. And I don't even there's no question to even ask. It's your brother's birthday. Close as you will, Big Cliff.
Well, first of all, Tavis, I want to thank you for giving us this moment, brother. This moment in space, again, is documented, and it will mean something until there is no more time. And I thank you, brother, for loving on us like you have and for being you. And I just thank God for me being just a part of a life of someone who knows how to love so much. You know, at one point in my life, I realized that Cornell loves black people even more than black people than we love ourselves. Mm-hmm. And those of us who are close to him know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And that love spills over into the universe. Like I said, it's not a love at the expense of anybody else. It's a love that spills over and makes room for more love and propagates and propagates and propagates. And the world is a better place because Cornel West came this way.
Mm. Dr. West, that's how you drop the mic, but it's your birthday, so I give you the last word, sir. It is your 72nd birthday. We started with you. We close with you. I asked the same question at the end that I asked at the beginning. At this point, 1 hour later, what's on your heart? What's in your mind?
Well, brother, to be able to be a receiver of Westian love, and that embraces you yourself as the third son a Westian love. And it's not just mom and dad, it goes back to grandma and granddad, and it's a love that spills over into the larger black context. And in the end, it's a larger human context. But just to be a recipient of it, to have that kind of grace, to have that kind of undeserved gift given to me, and I just take it and run with fun, trying to keep a smile on my face, with style in my walk and talk, and being willing to serve and sacrifice, headed toward a cross and looking for a crown.
That's how you close. Double mic drop, but only the West brothers can give you that. You see how blessed I've been to be in their company all these years. But today we had the honor of celebrating the 72nd birthday of Dr. Cornell Ronald West with his big brother, Big Cliff, and yours truly, Tavis Smiley. Nina Turner back in this seat tomorrow, as she should be, for another edition of Truth Time. But we didn't want to miss the opportunity today, given her absence, to celebrate the 72nd birthday of Dr. Cornell West. Doc, as Cliff said earlier, we love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Make sure you tune into Truth Time weekdays here on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy birthday, Doc. We love you.